Okay. Can everybody at the back, right at the back, hear me? Thank you. Yep. I think people, it's hard to sit in the front. Okay, so once Taylor gets here. Okay.
Thanks for your patience, everybody. We just had an IT issue, unfortunately, but hey, none of these things go according to plan. As I was just saying to Paige, no doubt the world has had many IT issues in it. And we're going to face them with a smile, maybe a laugh, as we all need to.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to go talk to us, Taylor? Just see what she wants to do. We're coming now, Peter. I'll just move mine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leanne Booker, and it is my privilege to be leading this celebration of the life of Cheryl Ann Langley, best known to you as Cheryl, Mum, Nana, Ches. Now, sadly, there are some of Cheryl's siblings who reside in Victoria, and other family and friends cannot be here today in the challenging times we now live in. But they are watching this service from their homes, and we send them our love and our support. There is a beautiful verse that reads, "Love doesn't end with dying or live in the same breath. For someone you've loved deeply, love doesn't end with death." And Cheryl, was so deeply loved. Each of you sitting here or watching this service knew and loved Cheryl in your own quite special, unique, and memorable way. As a very, very much loved and adored wife to Peter, a very loving mother to Paige and Heath, a doting nana to Taylor and Aurora, and Nan to Daniel, a cherished sister to Pamela, Robert and Michael, a loving sister-in-law to Gail and David, a favourite to her nieces and nephews, a trusted confidant and loyal friend, and a very well-respected work colleague in both her professional and volunteer roles. The sadness, the heartache you are now feeling bears witness to the depths of your love for Cheryl. Because you see, grief does not exist except where there has been the joy and the privilege of love and friendship. And Cheryl was so loved. But today is also a celebration of the life of Cheryl. It is a fitting tribute, lovingly prepared by her family. Today is about sharing all your memories and stories, listening to those beautiful, heartfelt words from the people that knew her best, music she loved, and photos. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but we'll draw on our own memories. We can all remember. We all know. don't think you're as good as Cheryl would have been, Pete. I think we're back. I think.
Okay, thanks, Marissa.
I've luckily got a really, really loud voice. Okay, so now Cheryl, many of you know, was one of our finest and most respected marriage celebrants. And I believe her passion for that institution of marriage stemmed from her own very, very happy and loving marriage that she shared with Peter. And so now Peter will come forward and share some of his life with Cheryl with us.
I've really been looking forward to this.
You'll be fine.
It'll be fun. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome and thanks to everybody for coming, and to those who have joined the stream online, if it's working. God, I feel like a politician. That can't be right, I'm too honest. We have many joining us from Victoria today. Special thanks to Paige and Taylor for all their hard work to make this happen, as I'm sure Cheryl would be as proud as I am to make sure all her wishes were respected and brought to life. As some of you saw, there was a Facebook post outlining her situation and inviting people to send their wishes. We received hundreds of responses, which is truly a testament to how many people she touched on her journey. Always smiling, always got a giggle, putting people at ease, as someone here said to me, this has been said already, said to me, to know Cheryl was to love her, and that's very true, because many people have said that to me. She had a strong sense of family. She was my soulmate. My rock, my best friend, the mother of my children. Cheryl was the best part of... Hang on. I'll do this on my own. Cheryl was the best part of my everyday. My sunrise and my sunset. The next bit is about, because people have often asked, how did we become Team Langley 50 years ago? God, it feels like 50 minutes. And so it wasn't hard to come to Team Langley when you've got the feeling of that feels like 50 minutes, not 50 years. Because you're obviously happy, you're contented, you're souled together, glued together. Always, soulmates usually define a person as ideally suited to another, as both a close friend and a romantic partner. Cheryl was a very special person. Why? She had an aura that attracted people to her. Always smiling, always got a giggle, putting people at ease. As someone here said to me, to know her was to love her. She had a strong sense of family. She was I think I've said this twice. It's my soulmate, my rock, my best friend, the mother of my children. How did we become Team Langley? Well, I was about 14 years old, I think, 14 or 15. I was invited to a 14th or 15th party. Back in the day then, parties were always held in the garage, right? They didn't go out to fancy restaurants and stuff. You had it in the garage. So I was invited. I was already inside the garage when Cheryl arrived. She walked into the room and it just lit up. When she came through the door, I remember thinking she was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. with green eyes so captivating. And at that point I knew she was my girl. The girl for me. I was going to marry that woman. And I bloody did. We went out for a while because I had some casual jobs, and therefore those who know me know that I'd always be working somewhere. Right? I was able to, because I had the casual jobs, I had more money than some of the other guys. So I was able to take her to Festival Hall where they had the bands. So we went to see the Stones, the Beatles, the Easy Beats, etc. When the concert season was over, she moved me on. And we didn't see much of each other after that. And when I would call to try and, because I don't give up, there's people in this room would know that I don't give up easy on anything. Joyce, her mum, lovely Joyce, took Joyce more than 50 years to get to like me. Joyce, her mum, would answer and you could hear Cheryl in the background saying, "If that's Langley, tell him I'm not home." I would ask Cheryl, we'd meet up occasionally because the big thing in Geelong was the dance hall called the Palais, right? So everybody went to that meat market, so if you like. So we bump into each other there and I just ask her for a dance. She never said no. Never said no. But always walked away after the first dance of the bracket. One time I'm dancing, the music finished, and she still stood there. So I just thought, she must want to dance out the bracket. So we danced out the bracket, and she still stood there. I said, "Aren't you going to go?" She said, "Why?" I said, "Because you always do." And we've been, in regards to that evening, we've continued to dance for the next 53 years. So then it became more of a boyfriend-girlfriend for a couple of years because we just kept on seeing each other. She was doing 1 year 4 of nursing, into the nursing in Geelong. And 4 of the girls decided to go on a cruise. And everybody gave me a hard time after that on the basis that why would you let it go on a cruise? You've been going out with it for 2 years. You're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. And I recall everyone giving me grief about it. When I took her to the ship on the departure day, the ship, it's just irrelevant, but it was called the Iberia. It's probably some bloody coral reef somewhere now. And it was time for the visitors to leave, and I took her aside, asked her to marry me, and planted her with the best goodbye kiss I could muster. She gave me the yes I was looking for. Surprised me. And it wasn't until years later that I found out that the kiss sealed the deal. So I could kiss her now. I kiss her in my memories and I kiss her in my dreams. Sorry. Because that's how much I love her. I crave her like the last puzzle piece. My Cheryl. She left me a quote that rings so true, so charismatic of Cheryl, always making sure I was okay, and it read. She texted to me after I'd come home from the hospital one night after being with her. And this could apply to a lot of people. Some of you have heard it. It's only short, but it says a lot. When we get to the end of our lives together, the house we had, the cars we drove, and the things we possessed won't matter. What will matter is that I had you and you had me. My response was, I'm a lucky man to have met my soulmate. And you, when you walked into that party, that I would never love anyone else in this world as much as I love you. I, Cheryl, love Pete.
Not an easy task, but I'm sure Cheryl and all of you see what a wonderful job Pete's done in expressing his love and his friendship for his soulmate. A mother's love. A mother's love is something that cannot be explained. It is made up of a deep devotion. It's a sacrifice. It's endless, it's unselfish, and it's always, always forgiving. Heath and Paige, well, they received this love from Cheryl. And now Paige will pay tribute to their mum.
Well, now I can say welcome officially. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our day to celebrate my beautiful mum's life. I would like to give thanks and gratitude and lots of love to my dad for putting together such a wonderful afternoon to celebrate Mum. Taylor, you are so special. You're an enormous support to myself, your sister and your Poppy, and you've put together an amazing job today, and I really hope that we do get over the technicalities and we'll be able to see what you've done, because it was something very special. And even if we don't have music, you can still enjoy all of those images of Mum, and I'm sure that we can make that work. Please, Mum. Also, I thank you, Daniel, for being here with our family and helping us at this time. And all the other friends and family that have been around us at this hard time and supporting us, it is greatly appreciated and from our hearts. And little Aurora, genuine and heartfelt with your little words before. You might not have been able to speak them, but they were your own words. I'm truly blessed with my little family, and I'm blessed to have had my mum for as long as I did. How lucky am I, and how lucky are we, and how lucky is Dad to have known our beautiful Cheryl, my mama. Now, I was going to say something about the beautiful photos and the fun photos that we would have seen to follow my speech. But Mum had a great life, and she had a great life with Dad, as you've just heard, in his words and his emotions. It's hard to describe deep loss individually, but I think my dad just summed up the wonderful gains him and Mum shared in their life together over 50 years. And that special love that is so very hard to find in this lifetime. Myself and my brother too shared this love for my mum, not only as an amazing wife, but as you have heard, dedicated to her family, her extended family, and her dear friends, which she has so many of. Mum and I often spoke of our childhood memories, funny, sad, ridiculous, usually all of the above when speaking about my brother Heath. Cheeky devil, who she now will get to give a well-deserved kick up the bum to. We were very lucky children, and we still are. We always had all that we wanted, and as well as all that we needed, because our parents worked so tirelessly and were very hard workers to make sure that we did have everything that we wanted. Mum always put us first, gave us a wonderful and supporting education, was first in any sports, even if she had no idea what she was doing. That included coaching a basketball team without knowing the rules. She made the best birthday cakes, very elaborate, and allowed us to have the best parties, even when it wasn't really welcomed with the neighbours. But we got away with that for many years. People still talk about it. We were very fortunate to have many childhood family holidays, and our most recent cherished holiday as a whole family to Christmas in Fiji in 2016, and a trip to Hong Kong with my mum that I will cherish forever for her birthday in 2015, lunching at the Carlton Ritz, drinking verve and overlooking the water there. It was pretty special. It was a highlight for all of us and special memories that we will always have. I would call you every day, even so for no particular reason, but you would always answer, listen and chat. I looked forward to your arrival when you knocked on my door, seeing your smiling face and your sparkle in your eyes. You'd say, "Hey, babe," or "Hello, my darlings," and all the animals would come running up for their cuddles next. She never forgot the animals, of course. I look forward to hanging out or just being with you because you made me feel safe, warm, loved, and allowed me and encouraged me to always be my best, be true to myself, and loopy if I wanted to, which most of you know that as well. And you always said I shouldn't leave a good bargain behind, so I always loved that, especially after a few complimentary champagnes at Camilla. I will miss getting excited about the gifts with purchase and the way you would always wrap our Christmas gifts in branded Tiffany & Co bags to open it and find a pair of knickers. I love your quirks and will continue to giggle whenever I encounter these around the house or I catch a vision of you during the day and thinking, that is so you, Mum, so you. Your cool style and glamorous entry wherever you went always left a lasting impression with any event or destination. I've learned from the best to always live with grace, poise and respect for others, to be authentic and allow your natural beauty to shine from the inside out. Always dress to impress yourself. It's about you and how you feel that attracts the world to you. Be selfless and kind and offer your love and support where you can. These are all the words you fondly describe as my mum. We've had so much love over these hard weeks, all with the same words used. Special, stunning, elegant, sophisticated, gorgeous, beautiful, kind, caring, one of a kind, my favourite, pretty bloody funny, bestest friend in the world, and a heart of gold. Cheryl was special not just to myself and my family, but to so many. I felt so heavy when I revealed to our circle that Cheryl was in her final days, but I encouraged you in that time and for everybody to reach out and write their messages, to pass on to Mum, to cheer her on her years of life and know what she meant to us all. We and Cheryl were overwhelmed with your messages and Mum smiled with happiness, knowing she had done her best, created a special life and left behind a legacy that will continue. Mum's name will be spoken often, I'm sure, not just from me, but from all of us that can share our little piece of Cheryl. Her personality and her kindness shone wherever she would go. Her local coffee shop where the staff just adored her. Her lovely hairdressers that feel a deep sense of loss knowing that she won't be able to return for her next appointment. Your caring and your yoga ladies who will deeply miss your presence, and the volleys at the hospital that will miss their caring, special Cheryl. All of my friends who know you as the coolest mum, always there to enjoy the fun with us. You've cared and helped many over the years, many over the years, and married some of my nearest and dearest here in the room. All of these things we will miss, but we have memories. The feelings we shared of pure happiness and deep sadness will always remain precious. I might not be able to call you, but I will talk to you every day. I may not be able to hear your voice, but you will speak to me in spirit and help guide my future path. Protect me and my family as we navigate a world without you. We will always have your smile and to think of your smile and to smile back. And always have the giggles thinking of that cheeky chuckle that you would also give. I would always look at my daughters and know how lucky I have been to have a mother like you, to be inspired by and to instill the same values for them as they become women that raise their own families. I find it hard and surreal that your soul has left us, to be in a better place, to watch over us and guide us and love us into eternity. I take peace knowing that you are free from pain and suffering and great joy in the life that I was able to experience and share with you. It was truly, truly special. We were able to share so many memories together as mother and daughter and as life progressed with my daughters also. How much you love the girls, my girls, she would always say, my girls. My Pete and my girls. Mum even apologised to us the other day in a humorous way, just a few days before passing. So my mother, with a little smile and saying, "I'm really sorry." "What are you sorry for, Mum?" "You're going to have to clean out all the cupboards." And as you might know, my mum loved to keep everything. Receipts from the 80s could come in handy. Catalogues from the 70s to go along with appliances that she still currently has in the kitchen as we speak. Mum loved to save keeping everything, so even she didn't want to clean those cupboards out herself. I will spend a lifetime talking about you and living the life you wanted me to live, which is courageous, strong, honest, and happy. You will be in the stars at night, the sun in the morning, every bird chirping in the trees, every butterfly that swoons past, and every flower that blooms. I will forever smell your scent, and you will forever be in all of our hearts. I am everything I am because you loved me. I will see you when we meet at the pearly gates and we can once again enjoy our complimentary champagne together. Love you, Sheza. Thank you.
I wasn't lucky enough to have met Cheryl, but I feel in this last week I have met her through her daughter, Paige. She has certainly has her mother's sense of humour. She is a brilliant writer and deliverer of her speech. She make a good celebrant. And you know she has her mother's style and her glamour, and I think she would be just so proud of you. Cheryl adored her two grandchildren, always trumpeting their achievements, never missing an opportunity to spoil them. And so granddaughter Taylor will now pay tribute to her nan's wonderful life.
It's a shame about the slideshow, but what can you do? You persevere. That won't go up. Our parents are the reason that we're given life. They're the reason that we're brought into this world. Our grandparents give us a strong sense of who we are, where we come from, and teach us life lessons. This week, as I say goodbye to my nan, I realise how truly lucky that I am, not only to love and be loved, but as well as to be so close to such a magnificent human being, and how truly lucky that I am that she was such an integral and close part of my life. Someone who woke up daily and chose to be so selfless and supportive. It's rare for a grandparent and a grandchild relationship to be so essential and so bonded, yet Nan was that exceptional kind of person every minute of every day in her life. I know funerals and eulogies traditionally pine on about how wonderful a person was or how unique they are, but I know as I stand here before you all, I don't have to try and convince you of anything. I don't have to try and tell you about the type of woman that she is and how she captured the hearts of so many people, because each and every one of you already know. So I want to try and explain who my nan was to me, how she loved me and how she made me feel loved. My nan was the matriarch, the regal leader of our family, with an aura that radiated such kindness. That constant loving presence really does shape a person. She chose with everything that she did to have her part completely in it, whether it was teaching me how to cook, teaching me how to sew, how to drive, or even how to make my bed, regardless of how willing I was to listen or not. But at the end of the day, you can't really describe an indescribable woman, so here's a fitting poem. My nana kept a garden of the heart. She planted all the good things that helped give my life a start. She turned me into sunshine and encouraged me to dream, fostering and nurturing the seeds of self-esteem. And when the wind and the rains came, she protected us enough, but not too much. I knew she'd need to stand up strong and tough. Her consistent good example, teaching me right from wrong, markers for my pathway, to last my life whole so long. I am my Nana's garden. I am her legacy. I hope today she feels the love reflected from you and me.
As I said earlier, very sadly that Cheryl's two brothers and sister, as they live in Victoria, they can't be here. Hopefully they're able to watch us at the moment. But Robert, on behalf of his brother and sister, has written some words that now Paige will now read on their behalf.
So this is written from my Uncle Rob, and they're all hopefully listening at home. So it was great sadness for me, my older sister Pamela and youngest brother Michael, to hear of the passing of our beloved sister Cheryl. Doubtably as we weren't able to see her for the last time. It was very traumatic for all of our family not being able to be here, and certainly her siblings and her in-laws not being able to say goodbye. What a wonderful person she was, warm and loving, so understanding and tolerant, and above all with strength to cope with whatever trials were thrown her way, the centre, the rock of her family's life. The last time I saw her along with Mike and his wife Fiona was her recent surprise 70th birthday in Brisbane. She was doing okay with her treatment at the time and enjoyed herself immensely, as did catching up with after quite a long break from not seeing each other. My early memories of kids together are just about us getting along okay in a small house where the girls and the boys each shared a room. Not much of that was outstanding, just a normal, good, enjoyable childhood. Shesh left home to do her nursing training and career, and our lives crossed only occasionally. I do have a vague memory of Geelong High School days, probably around 1967, Shesh's last year there. I think she ran for Miss Geelong High School competition. Though I can't find any photos or articles in the old school mags to confirm that, I now can't give her a call to ask her about it. I remember that I was so proud of my sister and raced around trying to raise money from my peers so that she could win the Charity Queen. In my later life, it took me away from family for long periods of time, but even during this, I did get a visit to Shesh and her clan up in Canberra, Mount Isa and Brisbane, as we did move around a little bit. But prior to that was her wedding to Peter. He was so badly smitten with her early, with Cheryl, and a young lad's memory was a very persistent bloke hanging around and hoping and waiting for a good outcome. And we've all heard the story of the outcome. He eventually got the result, and Shesh finally said yes to his proposal. And 53 years later, they spent a lifetime together. I was lucky enough to be invited to be one of the three groomsmen for the service, along with Peter's friend Bert and his brother David. Being the youngest and smallest of the party, I found myself lined up in the church at the extreme end, looking directly at a large wooden pulpit eagle, adorned eagle. I'm not a religious type, but staring at that figure for what seemed like hours put the fear of God into me, and to this day, I count myself lucky to have survived the eagle eye. I'm sure that eagle kept moving and looking at me. On one of my visits, I took my parents to visit the Langley clan in Mount Isa. It was a fantastic trip, which I do remember as a young child. And besides the family, we caught up, and it included for him, Dad took him down to an underground visit in the Mount Isa mine. We had a small pool room, which actually wasn't true, it was pretty big. But he still managed to hurt himself. The Langleys had a small pool room out the back, and it was nearly always oppressively hot, living in Mount Isa, with only one ventilated overhead fan. The master player here had completed a shot and was moving around the table, and the next stroke, alas, the cure hit the air into the fan and knocked him clean out. And I actually do remember him just lying there, passed out on the ground. Awoke to a concerned mother and Nurse Langley over me, but in all honesty, we were just all laughing at him, and so was Mum. It was a memorable moment and a memorable one that we all shared together. Cheryl, you will be sorely missed, but never forgotten by the many that have known and loved you. Rest in peace, my love. Robert.
If you could all please stand, and those who wish, please join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. If you could all be seated. Peter, Paige, Aurora, Taylor and Daniel would like to thank each of you for coming today or watching this service, helping them celebrate Cheryl's fabulous life, and for the hundreds and hundreds, I mean hundreds of messages they have received via text, social media, the floral tributes, the donations to the RSPCA, all on behalf of Cheryl, acknowledging the amazing woman she was. And finally, to Cheryl, a heartfelt thank you for the window that you opened up in our hearts, for the comfort you showed in times of sadness, for the joy of your friendship, and for inspiring us to live a life as fully as you did. At the conclusion of today's service, you are invited to stay on, to share the food, entertainment here at Handworth House until 7. Enjoy together, and of course, raise a glass of Moe champagne, as Cheryl loved to do, and celebrate this fine, distinguished lady, and continue sharing your wonderful memories and stories. And Jason will continue the musical vibe as we enjoy the sunset with Cheryl. Yes, and hopefully, we are hoping the slideshow. In saying farewell, we remember that all her life, you've heard today, Cheryl was the rock, the solid place, the matriarch of the Langley family. She was the one you turned to in times of happiness and joy, but also in times of sadness and need. Cheryl's passing has left a huge void in our lives, but we take comfort in knowing that her pain and her suffering is ended, and she is reunited with her darling boy, Heath. And she will always, always live on in those unique and very special memories each of you have of your Ches. She was a woman who added value and breathed life, love and example into everything she did. She loved a challenge. She was always led on by what was on the horizon or around the bend. Her life was characterised by strength, dignity and commitment and achievement. And she truly made a difference to the lives of the many she met. Although her last years have been fraught with difficulties, her bravery, her courage, her spirit were unfailing. And so to Cheryl, to be loved truly by someone is a rare thing. A wife's love, a mother and grandmother's love, a sister and friend's love is something that is never lost. It is a love that cannot be described. If love is one thing that you have passed down from generation to generation, then Cheryl, you have done your job. For the love that was in your heart is now in ours, and we can never, ever forget you. Your love surrounds us every day, and you are part of us forever. We love you, Mum. We love you, Nan. We love you, Cheryl. In a moment, we'll all go outside to release butterflies in honour of Cheryl's new coloured angel wings. And I remember, and I read this on the many messages on her Facebook page, one gentleman put a message that he was once, I think it was in the car with Cheryl, and there was a butterfly. And he was talking about, butterflies in his garden. And I think he was a bit sick of all these butterflies in his garden. And Cheryl turned to him and said, butterflies is someone out there is visiting you. And so I suggest that you all keep an eye out for the most colourful, the biggest, the brightest, the stunningly beautiful butterfly making her presence known. So if we could all go outside to see butterflies. And as Paige wanted me to say, fly Cheryl, and we will see you all again.